enjoy this juicy, stretchy, hip opening flow. I'll see you on the mat.
It's time to feel uplifted. To begin, just find a comfortable seat. Close the eyes. Let the shoulders melt down the back. Lift the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale all the breath out of the body. And take a slow, deep breath in for a count of 3. Filling the belly, the sides of the waist, the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones. Exhaling through the nose, long, slow, deep. 2 more like that. Full breath in. Inflating the body, bottom to top. Exhaling all the way through the nose. Get a little bit taller as you breathe out. Chin dips in. Last time, inhale. Widen the torso. Get bigger side to side, up and down. Exhale completely through the nose. Adding movement this time, inhale, reach the arms up, let them sweep to either side of the room, matching this movement with the length of your in-breath. And exhale, just fold forward. Press your hands into the floor in front of you. And then sink your hips back in space. Maybe move the torso a little bit side to side. Just looking for any stretch in the hip. Pressing down through the knuckles and the bottom of the palms to really root the sits bones back. Stretching the low back and the hips. Deep breath in and out. Slowly walk yourself back up. Switch which leg is in front, so just taking the opposite foot forward. Inhale, deep breath in. Keeping everything slow and smooth. And exhale, folding forward. Noticing if this non-habitual side feels tighter, rocking the torso left and right, pressing firmly into the hands to send energy back down through the hips. Find movement or stillness. One more deep breath. Walk your hands back. Come to an all-fours position. We'll take 3 cat-cow just to warm up the spine. So spread the fingers wide, shoulders over wrists, open the chest, lift the navel up and in even as you arch the upper back here, spread the collarbones, and then press the floor away from you. Gaze at your navel, belly button up towards the ceiling, and repeating, inhaling on your breath. Exhaling, tailbone lengthens to the space between the knees. After you've done this once more on your own, look at the screen and just sink back into a child's pose. We're going to take this into a motion. So you're going to take the hips from your child's pose up and over to the left. Bumping out over to the right, almost like you wanted your booty to hit the right wall, and then take the seat to the heels. So the seat swings left, right, seat back to heels. Playing with sending the seat as far to each side of your mat as you can. Maybe looking for a gentle stretch on the outer hip as you zigzag through this cat-cow. The next time you come to child's pose, reverse direction. You can make this slow, or you can smooth it out and go a little bit faster. And slowly all meeting back in table. Step the right foot to where the right palm was. Step or carry it, and then heel toe the right foot so the right heel is on the mat and the toes are on the wood. Let your pelvis sink down and open across the heart. You can be up on fingertips here. You can rock again side to side. And let the back of the neck be long, just noticing the stretch in the inner groin and perhaps outer hip. 3 more deep breaths here, finding stillness or movement, whichever is most comfortable for you. Heel toe that right foot back underneath your face. Shift all your weight back onto your left shin. So the right toes are going to point and then flex up towards the ceiling. Inhale, get long, and exhale, fold over the right leg. Little gentle hamstring stretch here. And then place the left hand underneath the face. Take the right hand to the outer right hip and sort of plug your femur, your thigh bone, back into your hip socket. Once you find that connection, see if you can reach the right hand to the sky, rotating your chest towards the side wall. Dip the chin into the chest so you lengthen the upper back. Coming into a little twist here, finding the outer hip, the IT band. Draw the shoulders down the back. Again, pull the chin into the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. No need to gaze towards the ceiling. You can keep the gaze to the side wall or down. One more deep breath. And then coming back to all fours. Shift that right foot back underneath you. Sink into child's pose. Full breath in and out. Returning to table as you're ready. Step or carry the left foot to the hand and then heel toe it wide, heel on the mat, toes on the wood. Let the pelvis sink down. You can rock again side to side, finding this lizard stretch. I often like to be up on my fingertips here so I can still roll open the heart. See if you can keep a sense of expansiveness in the chest and the upper body. Breathe into any sensation you're feeling, noticing that if you can't take that deep, nourishing breath, that you've maybe gone too far into the stretch. And back off. Heel toe the left foot back underneath the face. Straighten the left leg and then flex the toes towards the sky. Inhale, get long, and exhale, fold. Hamstring stretch on the left side. Every inhale, think of lengthening the spine, sending the heart forward towards the ankle. Every exhale from your core, melt forward. Keep the chin dipping into the chest. Left hand and thumb find the left hip crease now. Pull the femur bone back into the hip socket so your heel might scooch towards you on the mat. Set the right hand directly under the face if it's not already, and then left hand reaches up to the sky for an IT band stretch. Resist the need to look at the hand. Instead, just think of dropping the left hip. It'll want to lift up. Lengthening the back of the neck by pulling chin into chest, and then sending the crown of the head away from you so you feel length from the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. 2 deep breaths here. Rebend the knee, hands frame the foot, shift back again into child's pose. Maybe rocking the hips a little bit side to side. Bring the hips to stillness now and walk your hands towards the left edge of your mat. So right hand is going to stack on top of left. Feel this nice stretch in the right side seam of the body. And draw your awareness towards your right hip, anchoring it down towards the floor. Deep breaths here. Drop your right shoulder towards the floor. Lots of length along the right side of the body and down the low back into the hip. So it's like you're playing the two polarities here, really pressing your right palm on top of the left, at the same time anchoring your right hip as heavily back in space as you can. Walk your hands to the opposite side of the mat. Left palm on top of right this time. Spin the left shoulder towards the floor. Imagine the left hip incredibly heavy as you reach away from it with the arms and the upper body. One more huge breath. Come back to center. Rock forward to all fours, curl the toes underneath you, press back, downward facing dog. You can pedal through the legs, keep the knees deeply bent. Spread the fingers, press through the index finger, knuckle, thumb, and then press through the pinky finger. Feel the triceps spin in towards the heart. From here, you can step or carry your right foot between the hands. Turn your left foot at a 45-degree angle and look down and see that your front heel bisects your back arch. Take the right hand to the inside of the right ankle and the left hand to the hip, beginning to build our side angle pose. Bend a little deeper into the right knee, see if you can get the right knee truly over the ankle, and then revolve your heart towards the ceiling. Once again, think of dipping the chin in to lengthen the back of the neck. See if you can find this line of energy from the heel to the crown of the head. Experiment with placing the right elbow on the thigh, and then roll the chest towards the sky even more. Think of thrusting your hips towards the left edge of your mat, so thrusting your hips forward, and then look down and make sure that your right knee is navigating towards the pinky toe side of your foot and bending directly over the ankle. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, grow the pose and take the left bicep alongside the ear. 3 deep breaths. Return the left hand to the hip and straighten the right leg. Hold the shin, or you could use a block. I often like just holding my ankle or shin, and come into triangle pose by rotating your heart towards the ceiling, long spine, dip the chin into the chest, and imagine squeezing your inner thighs together here so you draw up energetically through the seam of both legs, pressing all the toes down, both heels down, sucking up the mat through the arches of your feet for nice, strong legs in this triangle pose. Hand can stay on the hip, or once again, choose to grow the posture. Left arm extends up towards the sky. Corset your ribs in. Send your low back towards the back of your mat so you hollow out your belly a little bit, and then spiral chest to ceiling one last time. Imagine someone pulling your left arm now to bring you up. Arms in a T shape. Turn the right toes in, heel wide, and exhale, hands to hips, just fold forward. Juicy stretch for the back of the legs. can rock the weight forward and back in the feet. Turn the heels in and the toes out now. And take the hands, so the thumbs are inside the thighs, fingers behind the thighs, and just rock a little side to side here. If this is really easy for you and you want a deeper inner groin and outer hip stretch, take the elbows to the inside of the groin, just rocking side to side. Notice if the breath has become compromised in any way. Deepen it here. Sink and melt into this. One more breath. And then straighten the legs. Take the toes in and the heels wide again. Fold forward. Make sure the toes are in, the heels are out. Maybe a little stretch on the outer ankles. Your next in-breath, come to a flat back. Hands to hips, so spine parallel to the floor. Breathe in and out here. And your next inhale, come back up to stand. Discovering those poses now on the second side. So turn your left foot towards the back of the mat. Scoot your right foot back in space, so it's at that 45-degree angle. Bend into the left knee and growing our side angle pose. So first thing, taking the left hand just to hold the ankle, or if you know you like the variation now that we've explored it with the elbow on the knee, you can do that as well. Right hand on the hip, spiral chest to ceiling. Just begin playing, navigating this shape. Not so focused with getting into the perfect position, but rather making little micro adjustments as we go. Fire up the back thigh. Press through the outer edge of the back foot. Look down at the left knee. Make sure it's tracking towards the pinky toe side of the foot. And bending deeply over the ankle. See if you can bend it a little more. If and once you graduate to having the elbow on the thigh, spiral the chest towards the ceiling. But challenge yourself to keep the head in line with the torso and the back leg. Dipping the chin, rolling the heart towards the ceiling. If you want to complete the posture, take the right bicep alongside the ear, totally optional. Shoulder soft. 2 breaths. Right hand returns to the waist. Straighten the left leg. Hold the ankle, the shin, heel toe the back foot in one step if you need to. Think of squeezing your inner thighs together so you really strengthen the legs. If you're holding your calf, you should feel your calf muscles firm underneath your touch as you visualize sucking the mat up through the arches of your feet. Roll your chest towards the ceiling again, while at the same time thinking of knitting the ribs in. So channel that cat back, that Halloween cat shape we made in cat-cow. Here, pull the navel behind you, almost as if you wanted to round the lower back. And from that contained space, now open the heart. And if you like, reach the right hand to the sky. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Soften the gaze. One more huge breath. And then, like someone was pulling your right arm this time, come on back. Heel toe the feet closer and closer towards one another, arms in a T shape. And then take the hands to the hips. Have the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, toes out at a diagonal. And see if you can sit for a squat, malasana. So if coming all the way down like this is feasible for you, it's okay if the heels don't touch the ground. This is a great place to be, hands at prayer, breathe. If that's just too much, widen the legs and take the same variation we did before, with the thumbs in front and the fingers behind, or elbows on the inner thighs. This is our last opportunity to really melt into the hips, breathe in to the stretch while also strengthening the body. Last thing before we come down onto the floor. Final breath. Navigating your way down towards the floor, now lying down on your back. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat, cross the right ankle over the left knee, keep the right foot incredibly flexed, and hold behind the left thigh. If you already feel a deep stretch, just stay here, or you can even choose to take the left sole of foot back to the mat. This could be enough. If you're seeking a little bit of a deeper stretch, pull the right thigh towards you. And then press your right foot towards the left. So maybe the left hip lifts off just an inch from the mat. Two more deep breaths here. If the sole of the left foot is off the ground, meaning you've pulled the knee into the chest, make some circles now with that left knee. So like that left knee wanted to draw some circles on the ceiling, kind of rolling around a little bit on your sacrum. Just see if you can get into some sticky spots in the hip that you maybe didn't feel before. Think of that right knee moving away from your face. One more circle. And now switch sides. So left ankle over right knee. Flex that left foot a lot. This is option one. You can just stay with the right foot on the floor. This may be enough. Otherwise, holding behind the right thigh. You can always put a pillow or a block underneath your head if it's hard to reach. Really using the breath as a tool here to stay easeful, despite any sensations you may be feeling in the body. You can relax the right foot. Pull the right thigh towards the chest. Send the left knee away from you. Deepen the breath. Imagining now that the right knee was painting circles on the ceiling. Move that right knee in some circles, massaging the sacrum while simultaneously finding some new sticky spots potentially in the hip. Make sure that left foot stays firmly flexed, left knee navigating away from you. You can kind of prop it with your left elbow. Set the soles of the feet to the ground. Press into the feet, lift the hips up. Shift them an inch over to the right and let your right knee cross over the left and then both knees fall left. Arms are in a cactus, goalpost shape. And just breathe here. Releasing any effort, any strain, any tension. Slowly coming up. Pressing the soles of the feet into the mat, lifting the hips, scooching them over an inch or two to the right. Right knee comes on top of left, and both knees fall right. Full, complete inhales. Challenge yourself to keep the breathing big. Knees can drop down the mat away from your face to make this more easeful. Just think of sending your breath and your attention and your awareness down into the area of the hips. Relaxing the ankles, the soles of the feet, the face. Coming back to center for our final pose. Press the soles of the feet into the mat. Lift the hips back up, lengthen the tailbone towards your heels. And some options here are to finish your practice in Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of feet to touch in a butterfly shape, knees out wide. If this strains the low back, or if it feels like the low back's really arching away from the floor, do the inverse of this shape instead. Take the feet as wide as the mat and bring the knees in to touch, resting one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. And of course, if it's your preference, you can come into traditional Savasana to close your practice by simply extending one leg and then the other. Inhale deeply wherever you are on the floor. Feel your back body connect and broaden against the mat. And big complete exhales on your own pace, your own timing. At least 3 more deep, nourishing breaths. Expanding the body along the mat as you breathe in. Surrendering more to the floor as you breathe out. Stay here as long as you like. I hope your hips feel warmer, more nourished, and I'm sending you so much love. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Thank you so much for practicing with me and being here all the way to the very end. When you're ready to stop practicing at random, to move out of the shallows and deepen your knowledge through thematic class series, training plans, guidebooks, and Yoga Alliance approved continuing education courses, join me inside the Uplifted membership. With me and our global community, uncover the ancient wisdom of yoga in ways that are personal, practical, and powerful. And if you want to keep watching here on YouTube, this is the class I suggest clicking on next. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.